Hello, this is Pam, and welcome to the reading of the Times Reporter newspaper for this Thursday, April 16, 2020. We begin today's reading with the area deaths. Mary L. Baker, age 93 of Coshocton, formerly of Freeport, died Tuesday in her apartment at Windsorwood Place, Coshocton. A celebration of life service will be held in the Freeport Presbyterian Church at a later date. Burial will be held in Greenmont Union Cemetery, Freeport, on Thursday. Funeral services provided by Cock Freeport. This concludes the area death notices from the Times Reporter for Thursday, April 16. Let's take a look at our first article, entitled, Dover Schools Receive More Than $2,700 in Donations to Help with the Free Lunch Program, by John Baker, TimesReporter.com, staff writer. Through the generosity of area residents and churches, Dover City Schools has received more than $2,700 in donations to help with its free lunch program for students while schools are closed because of the coronavirus pandemic. The donations were accepted at Monday's Board of Education meeting. Our community has been very generous, said Superintendent Carla Burney. We distribute about 500 bags of food a week. Each bag has 5 lunches and 5 breakfasts. The donations help defray excess costs. The donors include Peter J. Lenyel and Lisa A. Lalmers Lenyel, $60. New Point Community Church, $1,500. Andrew and Deanna Bach, $100. St. Mark AME Zion Church, $200. Dover Baptist Temple, $400. Zachary and Ellen Lint, $250. Lindsay LaCroix, $40. Terry Corder, $100. Bruce Sexton, $30. Jennifer Calatine, $100. The meals are distributed through the district's food service department with help from staff members. Bernie said the families receiving the food are thankful for the meals. Often the children are in the car with the parents, she said. They're excited to see their teachers or lunch lady or bus driver passing out the food. They're excited to see a familiar face when they pick up the food. In other action, the board accepted the resignation of school treasurer Andrew Bach, effective July 1. The board will begin a search for his replacement immediately. Bach has taken a job as treasurer at Indian Valley Local Schools. Next item, approved a list of high school graduation candidates pending completion of requirements. Next item, authorized the purchase of a new school bus for the 2020-2021 school year from Truck Sales and Service, Inc. And last point, approve the following field trips for 2020-2021 school year. High school students to New York City, November 27 and 29. And Ars Nova Singers to Chicago, February 13 through 15, 2021. Our next article is titled Tornado Cleanup Ongoing at Brookfield Cemetery, by Stephen M. Grazer, IndyOnline.com staff writer. In Tuscaroras Township, a tornado that ripped through parts of Stark County last week touched down at or near Brookfield Cemetery, where a significant cleanup effort is ongoing. The National Weather Service in Cleveland reported that the funnel cloud went through the area of the 26th Street Northwest and Lincoln Way West around 12:11 a.m. April 8th, traveling southeast through Massillon. The cemetery is less than a half a mile west of what appeared to be the tornado's path. Between 15 and 20 large pine trees were blown down. One fell into the cemetery's maintenance building, causing extensive roof damage, according to Diane Bates, cemetery sexton for the township. The twister's estimated wind peak was 84 miles per hour and measured 100 yards wide, the Weather Service said. Davie Tree Service has been working to clean up the site and is to continue at least through Friday. A handful of pine trees tumbled onto an unspecified number of baby gravestones in one section. All damage is repairable, Bates said Wednesday. The worst-case scenario did not happen, she said. Everything is repairable and will be handled by insurance. Nearly 20 grave sites throughout Brookfield received at least some damage, said Bates. A monument company is to be hired to repair damaged gravestones, some of which were turned over. There are funds approved. Trustee Jerry Hollinger said the township on Tuesday night approved more than $27,000 in emergency funding. The money will be used to clear trees and debris, repair the maintenance building roof, as well as replace fencing and signs at the site. The bulk of funding approved by trustees should be reimbursed via the township's insurance carrier, the Ohio Township Association Risk Management Authority, Hollinger said. Additional funds may be necessary down the road, according to Hollinger, who noted that Bates has done well to get moving on the cleanup effort. It was unbelievable what happened out there, he said. We got on things right off the bat, so we're doing pretty well. Our next article is titled West Holmes Woods Accepts His Fate and Looks Ahead by Kevin Lynch. Millersburg. Tearing into a wall with a sledgehammer, grappling with a home renovation project, helped relieve some of the pent-up frustration West Holmes state qualifying 113-pound senior Cale Woods felt after having his dream of a state title denied by the only opponent able to derail his quest, the coronavirus. Woods got some satisfaction from his project, but nothing like the exhilaration he feels after winning a match, something he did 47 times this year alone, posting 35 pins along the way. His 190 career wins are tops all time in West Holmes history. Woods said it took some time for him to get over the disappointment of not being able to vie for a state championship this year, but eventually he did. I think I'm at peace with it, Woods says. It took a few weeks. I wasn't real happy about it because of the timing of it. Everything was going along so smooth. Actually, I was better than I wanted to be. I was in a really good place in my head with my wrestling and with my coaches. I was ready. Woods will be able to continue his wrestling career at the next level, competing for the Ashland Eagles in college as he pursues a degree in business and financial accounting. Josh Hutchins, wrestling coach at Ashland University, is excited to have Woods joining the Eagles program. We followed Cale for many years before he decided to come to Ashland, Hutchins said. We know how close he has come to reaching his high school goals and how devastating it is for this final opportunity to be taken from him. We believe that he has the potential to be even more successful in college, the coach continued. He is expected to have an immediate impact on our lower weights. He will have some great workout partners right away, so I'm excited to see how he develops and adjusts to college wrestling. Woods is looking forward to getting back into the wrestling room, hopefully in July or August, depending on how the current pandemic plays out. I want to get to work, he said. I will probably wrestle 125 in college. Reflecting on this past season and his 4-year career at West Holmes, Woods said he can graduate happy, knowing he gave everything he had to give to his trade. This was a great year. I think I had a great career, he said. I didn't exactly accomplish what I set out to do, but I accomplished a lot of things on my way to reaching my goal. I think if the tournament hadn't been canceled, I would have achieved that goal. I'm not all about the medals or the records or anything like that, Woods added. It was just kind of a process to get me where I am now. And it was a lot of fun along the way. The people you meet, the little things you accomplish, helping others achieve. I had a couple people who would come in and work out with me over Christmas breaks and Thanksgiving breaks, people that did a lot for me behind the scenes. He mentioned Ashland University assistant coach Jordan Murphy, who helped him keep his head on straight. He talked a lot about wrestling and about life, Woods said. Jacob Casper, a Lexington guy, talked with me a lot. I think of people like Coach Scott Vaughn and my dad who did a lot for me, but there are a lot of other people who helped me get where I am. Woods said a conversation with late Crestview coach Jesse Campbell after a visit to Ohio University for a campus visit helped him lean towards Ashland. He told me that he wrestled at Ohio State before transferring to Ashland, Woods said. He said he was a lot like me and didn't think the Division I lifestyle was for him. He thought the way I liked to roll and just kind of go with the flow. I was better suited for life at Ashland. That kind of sparked my interest, and I had already been working out there since my sophomore year. I liked the guys on the team, the coaches. My dad went there. My cousin Cody Woods is there. Those were some of the things that played into my decision to go to Ashland, he added. I like the environment. Plus, it is close to home. Brett Curran, longtime voice of West Holmes Wrestling and statistician for the Knights wrestling program, said wrestlers like Cale Woods don't come along very often, and area fans were fortunate to see him over the past 4 years. You knew from an early age Cale was destined to be one of the best wrestlers West Home has ever produced. Heck, even when he was wrestling with the attack team as an elementary wrestler, Cale was on another level than his opponents, Curran said. He progressed immensely in middle school and just kept getting better and better, Curran said. Wrestling in the summer months during those middle school years helped him greatly, especially competing at the Fargo Nationals, the top prep national tournament in the country. He faced top-notch talent from all over the country, and it paid off for him in high school. Cale's been a student of the sport since he could walk, having Greg Woods as a dad and Jeff Woods as an uncle, both great high school and college wrestlers in their own right, and both of them his coaches for most of his career. Cale didn't stand a chance of not being a great wrestler. But Cale has earned everything he has received by working his butt off. People have no idea the work that kid puts in and has put in over the years to be the best he can be. Curran said 2 of Cale's best wrestling attributes are his technique and smarts. To be good at this sport, I've always believed 20% is the physical strength and athletic ability as a kid has, Curran said. The other 80% is what's between the ear. A kid that smart learns the technique and then combines the two, coupled with the discipline and sacrifice it takes. And a kid, maybe not the strongest and athletic, can be very successful. You add all that up, and you get Cale Woods. Our next article is titled Meet School Nurse Abby Collins. We took time to catch up with Abby Collins, school nurse for Newcomerstown Schools. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and your role as a school nurse for the Newcomerstown school system. I was born and raised in Newcomerstown by my parents, Dave and Karen Archer. I graduated from Newcomerstown High School in 2002. I received my nursing license 2 years later and married my high school boyfriend. We now have 2 incredible daughters, Maggie and Emma, and live in the country with our dogs, goats, and pigs. I began my nursing career working in a pediatric unit in a hospital. I then went on to work as a nurse and nurse administrator in a facility that provided outpatient residential care in mental health services for children and adolescents. My career path and interests have always centered around pediatrics and mental health. In 2012, I had the opportunity to return to my alma mater. This has proved to be my dream job, as I was able to utilize my previous experience to help serve my hometown. I have the opportunity to get to know students from their start at preschool or kindergarten and see them through to graduation. I could interact with their families throughout the years, which is truly a rewarding experience. Like all nursing jobs, no 2 days are the same. My day-to-day tasks can include developing health plans to assist in the medical needs of students during the school days, review medical histories and emergency medical forms, conduct staff trainings in relation to medical situations, review medication orders, screen students for hearing and vision as well as scoliosis. Vaccination compliance and documentation is a big piece of school nursing. I also chart each clinic visit. Many people think school nursing is all about the ice packs, band-aids, and temperature checks. However, we also get to interact with students, get to know them, talk about what may be causing that upset tummy or headache, and work through it. My favorite part of this job is getting to know students and their families, linking them with community resources, and hopefully giving parents a sense of security that their child is well taken care of while they are at school. What challenges do you face with your occupation? One of the biggest challenges as a school nurse is having a caseload of 998 students every day. From a medical standpoint, I am overseeing all student health care during the school hours. I cover 4 buildings, and there are days I am needed in 2 or 3 places at once. I think it is incredibly important to note that the school secretaries are my saving grace. They are often the first to handle the medical situations and do an amazing job with all medical tasks. They always jump in where they're needed, and the same goes for our building principals. Our office staff is incredibly helpful to our students, and I am so thankful for that. I would not be able to do this job without the assistance of all of them. How has the coronavirus changed life for you and your students? In the weeks leading up to the closing of schools, much of my time was spent researching, relaying email correspondence with state and local health authorities to our administrative team, providing staff with facts about the virus, reassuring students and families, as well as promoting hand washing and cough sneeze etiquette more than ever. We met early and often to develop a response plan based on the information arriving to us. While this was going on, day-to-day health needs at school continued for our staff and students. Daily medical issues still required attention, which was difficult when trying to assist in plans for our district, given the variety of scenarios we had to account for at the time. I am incredibly grateful to our superintendent and administrative team as we were able to plan as a team for the health crisis we are currently seeing, as well as implementing plans while moving forward. Because of all the advanced work by our administrative team, we were fortunate to have a plan in place when the order came down to close schools. The biggest change to daily task is our schools are currently closed, and our country is in the middle of a serious health crisis. Many of our students rely on that face-to-face interaction with their favorite teacher or office staff member, and the fact that they are not getting that worries me. I am reaching out to parents to check in and see if anything is needed, as are our amazing teachers. I also check in with research and data surrounding COVID-19 daily to keep myself and our staff updated on the factual information. I feel one of my biggest priorities at the moment is keeping our staff and our families safe during food distribution days when we provide students their weekly lunches, as well as being able to help on the front lines if we're called to do so. What would you like to highlight for us? I am so proud of our school district and honored to be a Trojan. We have an incredibly caring and dedicated staff. I am so thankful I get to interact with these individuals on a daily basis. I take pride that my children are educated by school teachers and administration that care so deeply about the students they serve. Newcomers Town is filled with staff whose selfless acts for their student often go unrecognized by many in the public. I am grateful for their dedication. I want our students and their families to know how much we miss them. I want them to know they are on our minds and in our hearts every single day. We are still here for them. Though we are not physically in a school building, we are checking our emails, making phone calls, and will help however we possibly can for every student and/or family in need. We are going to get through this together. I truly believe tough situations in a resilient community like Newcomers Town can make us even stronger and closer. Lastly, I want to reiterate that I truly have a dream job. I smile thinking about the students and the impact they have made on me and my heart. Christy Wilkin. Meet Abby Collins. Meet Abby Collins, school nurse for Newcomers Town School and graduate of Newcomers High School. College. I received my associate's degree of nursing from Ohio University, Zanesville, and my bachelor's degree of nursing from Muskingum University. Current occupation? Registered nurse at Newcomers Town. Family. My husband is Brian Collins, an administrator at Newcomers Town Schools. We have two daughters, Maggie 11 and Emma 8, who also attend Newcomers Town Schools. Our next article is titled Aging Graciously. We're living a life long left behind. We are such funny people. There we were, running full tilt through our lives, cramming every second full, skipping past our self-affirmation, missing the richness, and craving more to fill our empty spaces. Here we are, stopped nearly dead in our tracks, floundering backwards to a life long left behind. Stuck in our little prisons, we are not truly isolated thanks to the digital world of our TVs, landlines, cell phones, laptops, tablets, smartwatches, computers, and less digitally, open windows and doors. We know what others are doing. Some who have complained forever because their families are not able to spend time together are getting a big dose of that and finding it's not as wonderful as their imaginations have led them to believe. Some who are spending 24/7 together are ready to go back to some distance. Family members on Facebook are getting cranky. One wonders whether divorce rate will go up when the virus rate goes down. Many are sighing about boredom, while their computers are scrambling for all they're worth to fill the long hours with yet some stimulating new activity. Cheerful gamers are offering us opportunities every 5 minutes to try a beat other at logic story problems. I started hating those in 3rd grade when I had trouble doing them. Remember this. Nostalgia floods our screens with old relatives, friends, and events, and recipes from the simplest to the most bizarre are popping up everywhere. Oh my goodness. People who haven't cooked in years are cooking and baking. We are stress eaters trying to keep the extra pound rewards off by turning full cans of food and gallons of water into wannabe kettlebells, choreographing new dances with our children and pets, and exploring yoga from a chair. I am enjoying seeing the high school graduation pictures, the latest fad, on our screens. They are lovely, fresh young faces, unmarked by today's worries, properly touched up by the photographer to take away every flaw. A look in the mirror tells us we have been and how far we have come. No one is happy about that. Wouldn't it be much better for us if we realized that the lines, the sags, the fat, and the balding of now are well-earned trophies of smiling, laughing, crying, and frowning, and of the genetic destinies none of us can change? Shouldn't we be thinking, this is what life does, this is how life goes, and cherish both past and present rather than bemoaning, gosh, I never knew I was pretty back then? The pandemic has made our hearts grow. Nearly everyone is full to bursting. We are giving more than ever. Food, money, masks, deliveries, prayers, letters, and advice. Our churches are reaching out, comforting us with positive words. Our friends and family are checking on us to be sure we are okay. We are reverting back to the old ways of doing things, more slowly and kindly. Necessity is once more the mother of invention. I tried to make masks for my family and it was a total disaster, but the no-bake cookies and homemade yogurt were a huge success. We are living virtual lives in a virtual world of virtual beliefs, but if we just look around, we can see that the world is still real. The beautiful spring blossoms, the rains and sun that bring all of nature to life again are real. We are real, and it is we who determine what life will be from now on. When this time is over and we have returned to normal living, let us continue our reach out to one another, assess how we spend our time, and never give up hoping that each new day will be one of wonder. Just an editor's note. If you know of a senior who is unique and deserves a story, please email Lee Elliott at Lee, Leeadirect, at roadrunner.com. Please include contact information so she can share their story with our readers. Well, my dear friends, this concludes the reading of Thursday, April 16th, Times Reporter newspaper. This is Pam saying thank you for listening. Please be safe and make it a great day.